Hi everyone, this is Bobby from bn-games.com, and we're here doing another classic capture. Today we're playing Gundam Wing Endless Duel for the Super Famicom. If you don't know what the Super Famicom is, it is the Japanese Super Nintendo. It is basically the same guts.
Just much better built.
Yeah, and it's a nicer looking system overall. I mean, console, you know, as far as aesthetics is concerned.
Yeah, especially considering that I believe only the U.S. got the redesign.
That's right. Yeah,
Japan had Japan and Europe had
the exact same system.
Yeah.
So what I should mention about and I don't know what that'd be Nintendo of America. They did a lot. They did the same thing with the Famicom.
Colorful? Yeah. Nope, make it purple.
Yeah, I love my friends seeing my NES. They have no idea what it is.
Man, they probably are horrified by it. So I should mention this game was not released in the States. This is based off of, you know, Gundam Wing, the anime. This is before Battle Assault, which was on the PlayStation 1. And this, you know, this has no Endless Waltz versions of the Gundams. This has a couple of the rebuilds, like Death Scythe here. This is, I think, the second version of him.
This is Death Scythe Hell.
Not custom.
Yeah, no, none of the customs are in here. Like, right now I'm playing as Wing Gundam, but this also has Wing Gundam 0.
Yep.
But again, not the custom models. I believe at the time that this is released, I believe Endless Waltz hadn't been done yet.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah. So basically, it's a fighting game. Well, obviously you can't tell that.
It's basically pre-Battle Assault. It's got very similar controls.
No, well, to a certain extent it does, but it is a much faster game. It's actually it's a much more conventional fighting game.
I would actually,
than Battle Assault. And you know, I wouldn't go as far as saying Street Fighter. In fact, this is faster than Street Fighter, except for 2 Turbo, obviously, and on. But for a fighting game, it's conventional in its control scheme, but it is actually really good.
I would say this is actually better than the Battle Assault games.
One, not 2. I like 2 better.
I like
and 2 had the sound effects with overheating. You know.
Well, I especially
every 5 seconds.
Well, also I like that 2 actually used the official voices, where I believe Battle Assault 1 didn't. At least for the American releases. I don't know about the Japanese ones.
Remember.
Yeah.
Well, I think this game, for a Super Nintendo game, Super Famicom game, obviously same hardware, it's a very good looking game. I mean, the sprites are they're highly detailed.
Backgrounds are nice.
Backgrounds are nice. Everything's moving at a really smooth clip here. I mean, you can tell what these things are. They don't look like really odd. I mean, I don't know how to put it. I mean, there's some really terrible cartoon and anime to console releases during this time, and this was not it.
They're not bad-looking facsimiles.
They don't look like the Street Fighter sprites from Part 2. I'm sorry, but those sprites kind of look horrible.
And well, I mean, regardless, it's a really good game. A really good fighter, and I'd say every Gundam has a different feel. I mean, they feel unique. Death Scythe thankfully plays a lot like Ken for me. I mean, I'm a Ken player as far as Street Fighter.
I still can't figure out Wing.
Yeah, I had only played this once before. Actually, had seen a couple of videos of it, and did some research, and it's kind of fairly rare, even even for a Super Famicom release. I paid $30 for this. I'll be honest with you.
I would say looks pretty worth it. I mean,
yeah. Well, if you're a collector, $30 for this is not too bad, considering other prices I've seen range from $200 to $300.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, especially you got it with the box and book.
Yeah, and perfect condition. Perfect condition. So generally speaking, this is going to be a really hard one to find if you're a collector and you're like, oh man, I need to get this. Number one, you need to have a Super Famicom, which is going to cost you at least $100 to $150, unless you con somebody into it.
No.
To import it, it's going to cost you about $100.
On eBay, you can get them for $40.
Then the shipping's $50.
No.
I will show you.
I will
show you.
Remember who got yours?
I am telling you, it costs a lot, generally speaking.
I'm just saying, unless you want it in the box, You can
No,
get 'em
that's
for-
even more expensive.
Yeah, no, you can get them for 40. Trust
No, you
me.
can't.
Trust me.
That you can go on eBay, viewer, and
Yes.
and you will
Be
find
the
that
judge
I'm right.
yourself.
Yes.
Regardless, it's going to cost you a lot of money to get it, by collector standards, and not only that, the game, if you can find it, it's not the easiest thing to find. It's not listed in a lot of places. You may have to have someone in Japan import it, or export it to you rather.
But even then, it would be hard.
Yeah, and it's gonna shipping will be cheap. You can just use Media Mail, but finding it and buying it, because Super Famicom games in Japan are still very expensive. In fact, I've read articles where people come here to the States and buy the exported copies here to bring back with them, because some of the games are still in the $50 to $60 range, and over here they're $5. For example, Final Fantasy 2 and 3. For the Famicom, because they're all in Japanese, you usually find them over here, and they're not too uncommon. They could go for like $5 to $10 a piece, which is dirt cheap, especially compared to the U.S. release, because it's in English and it's collectors.
They're actually really common. I mean, almost any store that I've seen that sells them have
Yeah,
at least a
import
copy
stores.
of that. And yeah, they do range from about 5 to, I think the most expensive I've seen is about 12, and that's even with the box sometimes.
And obviously the price being lower is because it's all in Japanese,
The
and
demand for something like that here is a lot lower. But a game like this, where you really have no text to read, except for this, which, I mean, most fighting people just skip past that to get to the next round anyway. A lot bigger demand for it.
So it's got only technically.
It's got all the main characters.
Yeah, there's two versions of Zero. There's Wing Zero, and then
Well,
regular.
there's Wing Gundam, which is the first one we played, and one of the last ones we'll play is Wing Gundam Zero.
Yep. And it's a competent fighter. You have specials, and I know I've mentioned it flows. It's really easy to get in a combo if you have any experience with any Street Fighter 2D-esque fighting game.
I just have to say that Talgi sucks.
Yeah, that I will agree. Tallgeese does suck. He's really slow, although his hits hit for a lot. But he sucked in the show too. So.
Yeah, that's why there's 3 versions of it.
So would you want to get this? Well, if you're a fighting game fan and if you're a Gundam fan. More to the point, if you're a fighting game fan, this plays better than some fighting games that have been released in the last, let's say, even 2 or 3 years, I think. And that's using a Super Nintendo controller. That going back to that older style D-pad, and the layout still works, but it's still. I think I can't remember what's his name, the one I was using right now. And he's overpowered. Yeah, he can't take a hit, but he is super overpowered when it comes to attacks. That little flame thing is just you can't spam it exactly, but if you get it in a good hit, you're likely going to win the round.
You can't really block it either because it takes up so much screen space.
Yeah. These two, the mobile dolls. No, not dolls. What do you call them?
I forget the names of these.
They're just mobile suits.
They have specific names,
Yeah.
but Macarius and they're around the same series. I forget what the series is supposed to be, but these are like custom models for higher ranking officers.
It was the first season, but I don't like the blue
Well,
one.
it's
I was fighting this blue guy.
Well, no, it's the whole series because these are like their
Yeah, but then you also got to remember that later on,
because
Death Scythe destroys both of them at the same time.
I know, but also you get Death Scythe Hell in the second season, as well as Zero. Well, Zero
right.
appears towards the end of season 1. So
These two, if you're playing the game, you're ideally probably not going to use either of these. Although if you were, the red one is the better.
It's a little
easily.
faster, a little stronger.
The blue one uses too much. It's too much with the projectiles, and they're too slow, and they don't really do a lot, as you can see there.
The red one, you can't really control where the beam saber goes. It's like only in 2 positions.
Yeah, he's got that little SMG machine gun.
What the red one kind of reminds me of is playing like Iron Man in Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah, with like the kind of shield gun.
Yeah. That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, that's the feeling I got when I was playing it.
Well, I mean, it's a fighting game. You have a limited number of characters. It's expensive, even by collector standards. Would you want to get it? Well, yeah, if you have a Super Famicom.
Or you're a Gundam Wing fan.
Yeah. Just remember, it doesn't have any Endless Waltz, so you won't get the custom models. That you'll have to play Endless Waltz for. I'm not Endless Waltz.
Battle Assault.
Battle Assault. God, all the names kind of blend together. And I don't like her. She whines a lot in the show.
Well, I don't like the other one. She's just a bitch.
Well, she gets shot
Well, she deserved it.
on the moon.
Yeah, so here I'm going to play Wing Zero. I was going to do Death Scythe again.
This is the final round.
Actually, didn't we have a round before this? Because I could have sworn I played... Oh, yeah.
Nope. No, this is the final round. Because we played those two at the bottom because we're like, man, they're probably gonna suck. And
no, that's why I thought I did Wing Zero twice. Oh,
no,
yeah.
Whatever. They Wing and Wing Zero pretty much almost play identically.
I don't know about that. I
Control-wise, they almost do the same thing. Their
control-wise,
stats are different.
Well, yeah, but I had a lot more luck with Wing Zero.
And the animations are the sprite is only slightly different. Obviously, they're gonna put it because most people are a fan of him when they should be really rooting for Death Scythe. Yeah, no. Death Scythe.
I disagree.
No, Death Scythe is the best character.
I disagree.
Well, that's too bad for you. Marco doesn't have an opinion because he hasn't watched it.
No,
he's watched about half of season 1.
Yeah,
I say we just make him watch Endless Waltz. You don't really need to see the series.
but I want to know why they get customs, and I want to know how they make customs.
They never quite explain that.
Do they show them building them?
No.
Then fuck that.
Yeah, I think he's right. I think he's just watch Endless Waltz and you'll get the final tally of what they had and what happens.
Yeah, because
I would be interested if it actually showed them building it.
No.
Or talked about it, because I really like that idea.
The thing is, they do that, but only for
very short time.
Well, no, only for these.
Okay.
Alright, everyone. Well, this was a classic capture for Gundam Wing Endless Duel for the Super Famicom. Please subscribe and let us know what you think.
Quick, call the Power Rangers!
Famicom is expensive.